Today, I'm going to be talking about a TikToker who is in danger. I mean, like, serious danger of recovering the Diddy case. The TikToker's name is Stephanie Soo, also known as Rotten Mango. She is also a YouTuber who talks about true crime and stuff around that. Also talks about Korean and surrounding areas pop culture and news on her Stephanie Soo channel. She's actually a big creator too, with nearly 5 million subscribers on her Stephanie Soo channel and nearly 5.5 million subscribers on her Rotten Mango channel. So she's very popular, and even on TikTok she's popular as she has nearly 6 million followers, where she talks about these same subjects as listed earlier, and it's mainly clips from both of her channels in this one TikTok account. But recently she has been talking about the Diddy case and has even been in the same room as him during the trials. I'm guessing as like a news, press, or media person, as she is in those areas, but I don't know how exactly she got that, like, at all. But to go on, the Diddy case is just insane in general, and she has made a lot of TikTok videos covering it and YouTube videos. You can't have cameras in the courtroom, so she takes a lot of notes by hand and posting videos on like what happened and from her notes afterwards. She's also been making YouTube videos, like I said earlier, that are packed full of information and a couple hours long each, just talking about the case and what has been going on in and around the courthouse. If you are curious or want to keep up with the Diddy case, make sure to watch her for sure, as she definitely deserves it. To give a summary of the Diddy case and who he is, he's a very well-known music artist who has a lot of ties and connections in the game and has recently been arrested for a huge amount of reasons, all the crimes being around sex and mafia type of workings, if you catch my drift. I would definitely check out Stephanie Soo's channel on it. I'll link both of those in the description below, as there is so much going on with the trial. It is really insane. It's one of the most insane current pop culture like news pieces right now. And there is also on top of that a lot of antics going on, like I said earlier, with this, so you definitely want to probably keep an eye on it. I can't wait to start watching these. But Stephanie Soo's reporting on this entire situation has took a dark turn recently, as Diddy had motioned towards Stephanie Soo and mouthed the words, quote, "I know you" to her while they were in the courtroom. And here's her talking about that incident.
I think Diddy might know us. I don't know, maybe. So I'm just gonna explain. Usually, Sean Combs will do this thing where he does a sweep of the press pews when he first walks into the courtroom. He's like hugging his attorneys. He'll look to the public side, which is on his right, and then we're kind of diagonal from him. And he oftentimes, since more of his supporters are coming to the courtroom these days, he'll shoot them little hand hearts. He'll put his hand to his chest. He'll mouth "thank you." And then the press pews, we get a simple glance over and sometimes a nod. Now, clearly, this stands out to both my researcher and I really strongly, because on Thursday, we even write the time down, at 8:50 a.m., jurors are not in the courtroom. Sean Combs sits down at his chair and he turns in his chair to the right. This is our eye direction, like we can see him now. He starts staring in what felt like in our general direction, or perhaps right behind us, and it's a pretty lengthy stare. And then he starts nodding while mouthing the words dramatically, "I know you." He mouths it twice with what we perceive to be a smirk. Then as he's turning back around to face the front, he's like ever so slightly shaking his head while he's still smirking. But again, I'm not trying to be dramatic. I don't know if he was looking at me. He could have been looking behind me, right? But then right at that moment, the jury comes in, we all stand up, and as there's noise in the courtroom, because we're not allowed to talk when the judge is on the bench, a reporter from a major media network, I mean, she's been doing this for years and years. She's like a professional. She turns to me and she whispers, quote, "You're putting that in your video, right?" Because that was at least 7 seconds. So my researcher and I, we both felt it was weird. We both wrote it down independently in our notes in the courtroom. We talked about it after, and we're like, you know what? We can't be sure. We don't want to be dramatic. Then it happens again on Friday, a week later. So on Friday, there's this moment where there's a sidebar. Sean Combs' attorneys are near the front of the courtroom with the judge, and regardless, the jurors are still sitting on the side. Sean Combs turns around, and then he talks to his mom, and then he's smiling, nodding at her. He's like mouthing, "I love you." And then my neck is tilted still because I'm observing him and I'm taking notes about him talking to his mom during this sidebar. And as he's making his turn back to the front, it felt like we make awkward eye contact. And I say awkward to the point where I'm like, you know when it's so awkward, you almost like instinctively smile or look down because you're like, oh, I just got caught staring at someone. That was the feeling. It was like, oh, I literally just got caught staring him down. And he starts rubbing his chin with his left hand and mouths what appears to seem like, I know you. I know you. And this time it seemed more pronounced because as he's rubbing his chin with his left hand, he does like a slight index point. It's not like a point. He's not pointing his finger, but it's kind of like a hand gesture, like I know you, like kind of like you, like almost pointing at you, whoever you is. Then he turns to the front. And it was just so odd. It was just weird. And again, he knows us, he doesn't know us. Does it really matter? I don't think so. But I did almost pee myself. Like, that's all I'm trying to say.
Which I wonder how he knows her or is getting information about her or just anyone in general. As last I heard, Diddy was in trouble for talking to people about ordering threats towards victims or people about to speak out towards them via the jail phones. Like, I thought he got in trouble for that. I didn't think he'd be allowed to be back on the phones, but maybe there's others that are helping him out, whether inside or outside. Basically anyone that is a big name trying to talk about the situation or talk about him in general. Maybe it's just like kind of already pre-planned or people speaking for him or doing actions for him that he might not be able to say himself. I'm telling you right now, the things that he has done make it seem like he is a mob boss. The way that people talk about him, the stories that I've heard and everything, he gives off this mob boss type of feeling and vibe that's very kind of concerning. And I think since the I know you moment, it's only gotten worse and worse for her, as she has had to move at least 3 times now since covering the trial.
Has been a rough few weeks. This is our 4th time moving locations. One of them was completely unrelated to the case, and the rest of the times that we've moved to different places to stay, it's just been getting weird, and we're taking all the necessary precautions to keep the entire team safe. So the past 2 weeks, we have had almost 8 or 9 times completely new faces that will come up to us, tell us that they love our show, Rotten Mango, and then they keep asking us where we're staying. This has been happening like every other day. There are other odd questions that are asked by people that don't necessarily look like they even care about the show in the slightest. So one person in particular asked a series of questions trying to gauge how much, quote, power I have over my audience. Like, they kept asking, like, can you make them do anything? And I was like, do you think I like run a cult? I think half of them don't even like me that much. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean I can't make them do anything, period? But they kept asking, like, well, you don't think if you say something, they would listen to you? And I'm like, I don't think so. I think they would do their own research. And it did not seem like this person cared at all about this show. There was one instance where we're walking out of the courthouse. We run into someone who's like, hey, I love your show. That's it. And then they like come in for a hug. It was kind of abrupt. I was a little bit taken off guard. I love your show. Pulling me in for a hug. And my researcher snatches my arm, pulls me back and is like, we gotta go. Our car is here. And I thought it was kind of strange. So we get into the car and she's telling me their hand was like elbow deep into your tote bag. It's clear that they're looking for something. Now, I will say that my tote bag opening is quite large, but it's right under my armpit. So you would have to attempt to stick your arm in there. It would not be an accident, like, oh, I'm hugging you and my hand just ended up in this side. It's like elbow deep. So, I mean, I guess they could have been trying to steal my wallet, but it was weird. There's a lot of other small incidents that have taken place over the past week. It feels like the weirdness and the influx of all these odd questions of where are you staying? How much influence do you have increased, especially the where are you staying ones. I mean, I've never had that many people ask me where I'm staying. Honestly, nothing really happened. It's just, you know, when you have a gut feeling like something's not right, it's kind of a lot of those that have been creeping us out, and we're just trying to stay on top of it before it escalates to anything.
She has had odd interactions with random people seeming to stalk her in and outside the courthouse, trying to basically find where she's like staying at and all this other weird stuff.
I've had almost 8 or 9 times completely new faces that will come up to us, tell us that they love our show, Rotten Mango, and then they keep asking us where we're staying, which hotel we're staying at, which part of the city we're staying at. And of course, we give them very non-committal answers because that's a very invasive question to ask. So like, just to give you an idea, like clearly, if someone is a member of the press, or if it's a fellow content creator, or somebody that I see every single day and we have some sort of foundation, and they ask me, where are you staying? It feels like, oh, because we're all trying to get a gauge of all the hotels nearby, which one's a good one, which one has good amenities for after court. But these are random people that are like, hey, by the way, I love your show. Nice to meet you. My name is blank. Where are you staying? It's like instant, just nonstop questions about which hotel we're staying at. And then if we evade the question, it becomes what part of the city, which area, how long does it take you to get here? Do you Uber or do you walk? Who's all staying with you? Is it just you guys? Is it just you and your researcher here? Do you go home during the weekends if you're not from the city? Do you fly back home? Do you take the train? Like, it's just nonstop.
Like, what are some of these questions going to provide for this person? Like,
Nothing.
There's no need for anybody to ask these these type of questions.
And the worst part is, it's pretty clear that we're so uncomfortable with these questions because we'll literally be like, yeah, haha, and then they'll just keep asking.
And some of them don't seem like they've really watched anything from you. Yeah.
Because now, like, our researchers do this thing where they will try to have conversations about the show, and most of them have no clue what the show is even about, is the feeling.
Yeah.
And then this person will just vanish. That'll be like the first conversation we have with them, and then we'll never see them in court again. So one specific time, there was a man, an older guy, who's asking us where we're staying, just pressing. And he's in the main courtroom, in the public section. He's asking us all these invasive questions, and then he's waiting for us in the hallway during each break, just casually lingering near us the entire day, and then just rerouting every conversation back to which hotel you're staying at, pressing details. My researcher passes me a note later in the day saying, look at him right now. He doesn't even have a notebook. So usually, because you can't bring your phone, and you're not just like staring, I mean, even members of the public, they're all taking notes, even if they're not content creators. Sure enough, I look, no notebook, no notes are being taken, nothing. And then he never shows up to court again. Another odd instance, this is a completely separate person that's asking nonstop where we're staying. We give a non-committal answer to him. He keeps asking. And again, it's not giving that, hey, I'm genuinely curious because I'm also staying at a hotel. It's just so unsettling. We refuse to answer. We keep laughing it off. He keeps pressing. Later during a break, he approaches my researcher outside while I'm in the bathroom. And then he asks her where I'm staying. And she again does not respond because he just asked us while we were together. It was just weird. He literally just asked us.
And there's also other odd things that aren't exactly probably connected to her that are actually happening outside the courthouse as well.
There has been so much happening inside the courthouse or right after the court or the entire team, like right before we go into the courthouse. We're really just trying to mind our own business. But even so, just a few days ago, one of our team members was waiting in the line super early, gets harassed to the point of tears. A passerby is cursing at her, screaming belligerently at her, tries to snatch her phone from her hand. We've been told that she's been starting quite a few fights outside the courthouse. This is completely unprompted. She's screaming racist slurs at our team member's face. Nobody cares. Nobody helps. Like, people are just standing around live streaming it, filming it, watching it. And then afterwards, after the crazy lady leaves, the same people that were filming, that did nothing to help our team member, are now filming her as they comfort her. And they're like trying to rub her back and tell her it's okay. It is so dystopian. We were inside the courthouse, so we didn't even know until after the fact. There were briefly a group of protesters wearing Free Diddy shirts across the street from the courthouse. They were allegedly getting paid $20 an hour to stand outside and wear Free Diddy t-shirts to promote the Diddy coin, which we've also received an email about. It's like a crypto coin for Diddy, so there's that. There was another incident where a man was believed to be holding a pool ball inside of a sock. So he's like threatening to swing it around and hit people with it. We didn't see it. We were warned about it. So we like stayed in the courthouse a little bit longer before exiting that day. And it's the same guy that allegedly we heard again that he spat at a reporter. He was screaming slurs at people in the line. And the NYPD, they will just take the people harassing the public and the press outside waiting to get into the courthouse, will lead them across the street and then send them off. They literally just cross the street with them. We've seen this happen almost every other day. I mean, I think they can't really do anything unless someone demands to press charges or, I don't know, actually, God forbid, gets injured. So that's great.
This is how. Shut the This is the I said, shut the fuck up, bitch. I said, I called you a bitch.
It seems like there's definitely someone being paid to do this type of stuff, and there's been recent talks of people being paid to do like absurd actions and stuff like that in the news. So, I mean, it is possible, especially whenever Diddy, I think in 2022, was a billionaire and one of the richest black dudes in America. It is very possible for this dude to have a bunch of money to be able to just threaten whoever he needs to. There's been a few concerned comments that also bring up good points here. One of them by Brittany says, "Hey love, please tell the bailiffs about what Diddy has been doing. I'm begging you, let them know, because he cannot continue to have control in the court." But I don't know if he has like a lot of control, if it seems to be going into his favor or not. From what I've heard, there's so many people testifying against him. There's so many stories coming out that it is like impossible to actually like for him to win this, it seems. Also, I don't know if they can really do anything with this information, as I feel like Diddy would be smart about it, and I feel like in this situation in general, you can't really like forward everything towards him. You know what I mean? It's a city. It's just insane in general. Like, all these big cities are just insane and have insane people. And there are going to be Diddy defenders, apparently, which I'll be talking about in another comment. So, I mean, it's so difficult to put all the blame on Diddy that he's basically the chess master of all these moves being made around her. Another person says, "Hi, please get a bodyguard. I am begging." A lot of people have been saying this basically to get security, and I really do agree with that. I think that she should probably... I don't know if she could really do anything. I know that there's cops at the spot. I know that she's probably taking a car there and not really driving or anything, because there's no way that, especially after everything that has happened, she isn't taking a car or doesn't have at least a little bit of security whenever she gets there. I'm sure an Uber is decently safe unless, like, it becomes like a horror movie where she gets kidnapped in an Uber. But a lot of people have been saying she needs to get security, but they would also have to come in, so it doesn't... it's kind of like weird unless you just had escorts there and back. Next is by Vespertine saying, "Why does he have supporters?" I think Stephanie talks about it in one of these TikToks I show where someone's getting hired, or there's people getting paid $20 an hour to wear free Diddy shirts outside of the courthouse. It's also just insane. I think like there's been some people not really bash him as well. They're probably trying to take a middle ground that I've heard of. I think he has a lot of ties to people in the game and too many connections. Has done a lot. And it has sadly made it very difficult for some people to be able to speak out against him or speak at all about the situation. Another guy says, "Baby, you're on his list." This is very true, I think. I think she is definitely on a list of people to watch over this entire situation. I mean, there's just too much evidence of her getting stalked and all this other stuff that she would not be on a list. It's very, like, kind of concerning as well. I wonder who else is on it, or if anyone else has suffered because they are covering the situation or maybe speaking bad towards Diddy's name. There's so much about the trial, like the sons don't seem to care. There's some people that seem like just kind of careless about the situation, like people that are with Diddy, they're just really calm and chill, while others that are against him are, like, you know, very emotional and very cry and stuff like that as well. Next is by Briva Eva saying, "I feel like Diddy is being given information he shouldn't have. Makes me think he has a cell phone in jail," which I think this is very possible. A lot of people get cell phones in jail anyway. So, I mean, and especially whenever you're a billionaire, like, you're not going to get something snuck in for you. Very sure he has something there. I'm sure he's got someone sneaking him phones or whatever he wants, or doing whatever he wants for him. Maybe bribing, whether it's officers, which is possible, or bribing just the other inmates as well to get them to do his dirty work. Yeah, I don't know how he would know some of this information, like "I know you," talking about Stephanie Soo. It's very weird. Sarah Solo says, "Please do not forget that Diddy is not the only criminal involved in these evil acts. This is a RICO trial, and many people are involved in his crimes. Watch your back, change hotels if you need. Like, this is dangerous." I don't know if this is a RICO case. I haven't paid that close attention to it. All I've heard is just Diddy's name and not anyone else's, so I don't think this is really a RICO case. It possibly could be in the future, and this girl is correct. There is a lot of other people involved in this for sure. I mean, there was people going to these parties and everything else, so there's definitely more connections. You can't have all this power just being alone. But that is all of the comments and everything I have about the situation. It's all insane. Not just her possibly being targeted, but how people are so absurd and acting so weird about this situation. Defenders, there's going to be defenders of nearly anything, so it just makes sense. But some of these people are acting sporadic and insane. Like, there's a good chance that some of these absurd people are just homeless that don't really care and just are either insane on something or just don't really care. They just want some attention. It's very possible. There's also just some weirdos out there in general, especially in a big city. It seems like she is possibly in danger, but there's been no update whether she is hurt or anything of the sort. She just keeps on making TikToks about the Diddy situation, and hopefully she will stay safe and okay. It's hard not to believe that some people are paid to act this way just because of how just insane it is. But I'm very curious of what you all think in the comments down below about this entire situation. Make sure to like and subscribe as I make videos like this on internet dramas, lolcows, and more. And in the end, I'm PERK30, and keep God close.